Cleveland, if you're out there watching, we have a ton of Browns content coming as the season gets near. We have a preseason game this weekend, which we are hyped about. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Do us a favor, help us out. And you guys know I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop, but as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer and fewer games, and the dog days of summer are nearly over. And when the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to, FanDuel lets me keep the sports going. All I have to do is open up the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball and the ultimate Cleveland sports show. At the end of last week, we talked about Jimmy Haslam's response to Mayor Bibb and the city's proposal of a $461 million public funding plan to help renovate the downtown stadium. Now, according to Cleveland Scene over the weekend, the day before Mayor Bibb publicly released that proposal to renovate the current stadium worth $461 million, the Haslam Sports Group and their reps met with Brook Park officials in Berea, and a source close to those meetings had this to say, quote, "They're building that dome," end quote. Jay, I feel like we all agree the inevitable outcome here is a Brook Park dome one way or another. So if that is the eventual outcome that we are going to land on, and those sources from Cleveland Scene make it seem like that is even more reality than maybe we had previously thought, why are we going through this whole process of a public back and forth dogfight that doesn't seem to end? It's not going to end well for some people, and they're going to be very upset when we kind of know the eventual outcome. Why are we going through this whole process?
So your question is a very legitimate question, because this is a fait accompli. They are moving to Brook Park. They are building a dome in Brook Park. The question at this point is how much does Haslam pay for, and where else does the money come from? He wants this dome. I do like the volley by Mayor Bibb to put the ball in his court and say, here it is. This is a big chunk of money. You said that you were considering both. The Haslams are playing a very dangerous game of public relations chicken. They want to look like the good guy. In their statement, I laughed. They mentioned, we're doing this for the fans. This is very important for the fans. We want to give them a world-class experience when they come to Browns games. Okay. We put that through our BS detector before the show. But by the way, this BS detector is one of the coolest machines I've ever seen. We have it upstairs in the UCSS sports office. You put the text in, and then it spits it out in a real AI voice. And what they really said was, we want that money. That's what it came down to. And so,
money, Jake.
For me, they're playing a PR game.
Jake, give me the money.
They're going to build it. Now, like I said, I love what Mayor Bibb did. Mayor Bibb wrote a check, or at least a proposal for a check, and said, here it is. Now, he might be playing CYA politics too. He's got to make sure that he can tell his constituents and all of the other power brokers in Cleveland, I tried, man. I tried, but they wanted to move, and they did what they wanted to do. So this is political PR chicken at its best or worst. I don't love it. But again, unless I am wildly misreading the tea leaves here, this team is moving to Brook Park to build a dome with a Jimmy World theme around it that will have residential perhaps, but certainly commercial and entertainment. And these things are going to be high dollar properties, and the Haslams are going to get a piece of all of it because they have the land.
I'm hearing Jay talk, and I got this overhead visual of downtown Cleveland in my head, and I'm just thinking to myself, if there was a place to put a damn dome downtown, this wouldn't even be a discussion. And then I just keep having these visuals of just riding around downtown and just looking at all these, empty ass parking lots, all these huge.
There's places to build
like abandoned buildings, and it's like, man, that ain't enough room. You mean to tell me that's not enough room? And I don't know the logistics, the ins and outs of how you get these type of things done, but I'm starting to be like kind of fed up with this whole narrative that there's absolutely no place that you can build a stadium downtown Cleveland.
Earl, there
because,
is.
Because now you're trying to make it seem like that we're basically stuck with the downtown that we have. And I'm not buying that. You know what I mean? Like, so, like.
They can't put it in the footprint that's in now.
Right, but if this thing is truly about appeasing the fans and, you know, the fans ideally want a dome stadium downtown Cleveland.
Do they? I don't know that for sure. I haven't seen any public opinion
I truly
polls.
believe, like, you know, the reason why I say that, because we've only been given two options: renovate the current stadium or build a dome in Brook Park. But if it really came down to the come down and we really told the truth about what we really want, we just want a brand new dome downtown
I
Cleveland.
think you're right about that,
That's
Earl.
all we want.
We haven't asked that question to our viewers, have we?
I don't know if we have or not, but like,
I'm doing it right now.
Okay, yeah. I like the way you state that, Earl, because I do think that we're only looking at the two options: Brook Park Dome or renovating this one. But I think you're right. I think and there's land. Drive around anywhere. Drive within a square mile radius of downtown Cleveland. There's blight and empty buildings sitting everywhere you look. Not in the heart of downtown, but in the fringe of downtown. And if they wanted to, they could purchase that land. It would probably be more expensive. And they could build, but here's the problem. It would be landlocked.
See?
It wouldn't have the acreage that they have in Brook Park. And Jimmy isn't about just making money with the team, because that's money that's sitting in a bank that you can't touch until you sell it. Jimmy's about churning cash on the industry that is the Cleveland Browns, on all the adjacent property. Because if you look at the trend in pro sports, that's exactly what these guys are doing. Why did David Blitzer buy into the Guardians? Because there's room around the stadium to start to, and he has that land, to start developing that land so you can churn a profit outside of the ballpark.
See what y'all, I did some looking at it. First of all, anytime you're doing business, it's all about location, 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 location. Let's just be honest with you. When you see dilapidated buildings and high rises, they want a specific target market. And abandoned buildings ain't that target market.
No, it's not.
This is an inner city. You see people, and this happens in a lot of cities. It happened in Seattle. You see people who may be on homeless, they may be on the streets, different places like that. And when you're a business owner, you're looking at, how can I maximize my ability to get the dollars that I know are floating around? I know there's an airport out there. Every time somebody come off that airport, you're traveling for a reason. If you're traveling, you got some money in your pocket, don't you? You got somewhere to eat.
You need a hotel.
You need a hotel.
You need a restaurant.
You need somewhere to stay. And while you're doing it, why not have some entertainment down there? This is a legacy play. If he moves this, they got about 7, 8, 10 more. Listen, these guys, Dee and Jimmy Haslam, are not spring chickens. They are looking for estate planning. These people is like, yo, give me that land. The land is bought. I own everything around it. I ain't going, that was brilliant. That football money they not touching that. That football money is tucked away. That's the price of doing business. But everything else around there, give me that. Also, like you said, this is very political in nature. They know what they want to do. The mayor had to cover his, you know what, too. He was old enough to understand what happened back in the day with Michael White. He was like, man, you're not getting me. I got other aspirations, too. And you're not going to be hitting me on the trail saying, well, how did you let the Browns get up out of the city of Cleveland on your watch? He's like, no. I got a proposal out there. If they're going to do it, they want to do it. And let's talk about this, too. Let's just be honest with yourself. I was talking to my mom, and shout out to her. We was having a conversation. I don't know how we got in a deep conversation at the coffee table about the stadium, what are they going to do with it down there. I said, Mom, you got to understand. I watched the documentary, and go back and watch the documentary on the Big Dig in Boston. And look how many billions of dollars it cost. It started off in 1981, 82, lasted all, they're still digging up stuff over there. Cost them over $15, $16 billion because the city does not have the infrastructure. You can't build projects without the highway system. Right. Everything is going on the lakeshore east to west, right? You got to reroute highways if you want to get access in and out of there in a spark. If you want to put restaurants on the lake, you got to move a whole doggone airport. The reality of the situation is they probably picked the wrong location to begin with.
No, that's a fact. With they're cut off from the city by the highway.
By the highway.
And that is, and has always been a problem. And I know that we're going to build a land bridge. That's not going to do it.
You got to walk across the highway to get to the damn stadium.
And you still got to walk. I won't say the name of the owner because he's passed away and he's not here to defend himself. But an NFL owner once told me, we were at a Super Bowl, and he said, "Do you know what's beautiful about owning an NFL team?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "At some point, it's about a lot more than the football dollars." And I said, "What does that mean?" And he said, "The football dollars are the gate and the TV money. But it pains me." Now, his situation was not like this, but he said, "It pains me when I go to other NFL stadiums to watch my team play there, and I look around and I see all the other non-football dollars that owner is putting in his pocket." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Explain." He said, "When you own the football team and you lease the stadium, like most, from the city, and there's a fee for you to pay that, you're just making the football dollars. That's it." Now, this was before the SoFi project was ever launched, okay? He told me this was in the mid to late 90s. And when this discussion was taking place, the Rams were very much a viable NFL team, but it was also known that they could be had. Mm-hmm. And he predicted to me that someone's going to come in and swoop the St. Louis Rams right out of St. Louis. It's not going to be a hard play to do. The owner wants to go. And they're going to take them to a place that's going to be known as a football theme park. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Tell me more." He said, "Someone's going to buy them and relocate them to a major metropolis. Maybe it's LA. Maybe it's Chicago. If New York and LA could at one time have two teams, why not Chicago?" Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to come in and buy that team, and that's going to be part of his purchase price. Then he's going to go buy a massive swath of land, and he's basically going to build Disney World for football. Mm-hmm. And that is exactly what happened. The Rams, and if you think about it, remember the city of St. Louis sued the NFL and won a massive amount of money. All worth it in the long run because they traded a middling market for the number 2 market that had no football at the time. And now what you have is not just a stadium that could host, like Cleveland, 8 games a year. You've got a stadium that's churning every Sunday.
Cooking with something.
Because then they went and stole the Chargers too. Mm-hmm. Now you got the Chargers and the Rams playing every Sunday a home game. And every single time that stadium is full, they're paying for parking. They're paying for restaurants and entertainment. They're paying for alcohol. All in this NFL amusement park. And Jimmy's no dummy. Jimmy saw the money, the amount of money that's being made out there, and he said, "Oh, I need that."
And he has
I want that.
And he has in his back pocket one of the most loyal fan bases in the entire world. It don't even matter if you win.
You can go 0-16, we're gonna
still show up. And now it's even a bigger point. You go 0-16, at least you can go inside and look at the nice shops and everything and go out eat at the restaurant because it's beautiful, and you don't got to be cold anymore.
No. Now, as a fan, I do not begrudge Jimmy for doing that. We live in a society that allows you to make what you can make. That's our deal. That's how it works.
It's capitalism, right?
That's capitalism, and I'm all for it. I am not for socialism. Now, in baseball, what you kind of have is socialism. They take 30 teams and split the TV money, and they all get it, and the poor come up to here, and they don't have to put a good product on the field to make a profit, because they're getting the TV money no matter what. The NFL, there are no poor owners in the NFL. No. There are no week-to-week owners in the NFL. They can make payroll. Don't worry about it. But I don't begrudge Jimmy for doing that. But here's what I'm going to say to that. If you're going to do that and you're going to take this team out of the downtown area for just the second time ever, they've always played downtown, then they moved, we lost them, then they came back downtown. If you're going to move them downtown to Jimmy World in Brook Park and have all this adjacent land, and that cash register is going to be churning year-round because it's a dome. So you want an event in February, March, April, May, it's all, the money's flowing.
You got to pay
You
for
damn
that.
well better put a team on the field that we're proud of.
And you got to foot the bill. He's not going to fit all
Right.
the bill
Don't ask taxpayers to pay for this.
because you had a bag. You just took the bag and you buying soccer teams. You're buying basketball teams. Like, you got all this money.
Spent a lot of money on the Milwaukee Bucks.
A bunch of it.
That
Like,
could have
so-
built his stadium.
Giannis got to get paid again, man.
But I will say I don't think to put, like, for me as a business owner and to attract different businesses, if I'm a business owner, say, all right, do I want to pay rent downtown by Tower City?
No.
Or do I want to go out to the shiny stadium where I could get walk-through traffic 12 months out of the year? I need traffic. I want people to be attracted in here. That's the biggest
Because
draw.
that stadium is landlocked, man. I mean, it's downtown, but it's not downtown.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we all know this stadium is going to be built in Brook Park. But, like, as you were just talking, I just think that if we could have it our way, we had the space, we had the land here,
Sure.
and you build a brand new dome. You could build Jimmy's World downtown Cleveland. It's not going to happen.
You could.
But
I
know.
think, and Mike might have some results of the poll. Here's what I think fans want. They want a winning team, first and foremost. They'll go to a parking lot and watch this team
I'll take
play
that
if they're
over a
good.
brand new stadium any day of the week.
Yes, we want a good team. So, Jimmy and Dee, if you get your way here and it looks like you're going to, good for you. That's great. Make all the money you can. Make us proud.
Think about this.
Give us a football team that wins something,
You
not just competes,
You
but
renovate
wins
Arrowhead and Lambeau Field all the time. They've won
Sure.
Super Bowls. If I had to renovate this old ass stadium year in and year out,
something. It could be done.
and we was winning Super Bowls,
wouldn't care.
I wouldn't care at all.
I'll go wherever to watch this team win. And even if that means Jimmy gets 99 cents on every dollar spent on the Cleveland Browns, I don't care. He's the owner. Take the risks, but make us proud. You know, we are shareholders. And by that, I mean without us, there is no Browns. Now, we've proven to be loyal almost to a fault. 0-16, we throw a parade.
I will say,
And we keep coming back.
I
I
will say,
renewed my season tickets.
A lot of people did.
I will say this.
God help you, man.
Tyvis said this, though. That dome does more for players than we know.
You're right about that.
If winning is the main goal and you want to attract players, keep players, develop players, the players want the dome.
Now, all that being said, as much as they would like to play indoors to extend their career and it's easier on your body, you know what the Players Association right now is saying about artificial turf.
Now, I would
It's
like
got
them,
to be natural grass.
I would like them to keep grass.
It's only natural grass if it's a retractable
It's got
dome.
to be. Andrew Berry said that we plan them to be athletes, not gladiators. So you got to put them on natural grass.
But here's the thing. I haven't heard that it's going to be retractable for sure. If it's retractable, you're right.
Why would
No,
they-
but I think the Raiders, they play on natural grass and their dome is not retractable.
Well,
don't the Texans do it? Well, Texans
I
can
don't know
open
that.
up.
I don't know. I'm not sure of that, but you can't grow grass without sunlight. I know
Roll it-
that.
Yeah, you can roll it in and out.
Now, the one in Arizona, you can roll in and out.
Now, I don't
But
know.
I don't know that that's the case in Vegas. I don't know enough about
I
Allegiant.
believe they play on natural grass. I could be wrong
I don't
about
know
that,
enough
but I
about
think they play on
Allegiant.
natural grass.
I'll look it up. I do have the results, and we got to move on and talk a little Guardians. But we have hundreds of votes, close to 500 now. 7% want a renovated outdoor downtown stadium.
Yeah, I would have guessed that.
41% prefer a Brook Park dome, and 52% said, money aside, they'd prefer a downtown dome if possible. So Earl was right in his initial evaluation that if everything was on the table, the most popular choice is not one that's currently being considered. So take that how you may.
Yeah,